Hi guys, Thom Hunt here in the kit room. Last week's video was based on ultimate techniques for cold water perch fishing. And in there, I put the drop shot because it's an ultra finesse method for me. But I gave a few tips and one of the tips was how to fish a drop shot with a short paternoster on it to give extra degrees of movement instead of having your hook fixed directly onto the line as usual with drop shot. And a few people have asked me, how do I tie that rig up? So I'm just gonna make a real short video in this one, how to tie it up. Really simple, comes from my trout fishing days on when I used to tie teams of flies when I was fly fishing. And it's just based around a 3-turn water knot. So what we've got is, make sure you can visually see it all. I'll do it in like an oversized manner. But this white is going to represent the top piece of fluorocarbon. So this will go up, tie it onto your braid, and then that obviously goes up to the rod, all right? So this is coming down. And then we've got a brown or sort of beigey type colour piece of string here, which just represents what's going to be the bottom section. Now this needs to be as long as, once we've tied a knot, so we've lost probably 6 inches or so at the top, wants to be as long as you want your tag below the bait, going down to your weight, okay, your drop shot weight. So if it's super clear water, you might want 2 or 3 foot. If it's not so clear water or you're fishing really shallow venues, might only be 18 inches or so, but that's how long you want that tag to be. And all we're going to do is we're going to lay this one flat. So this is your main fluorocarbon line coming from your rod, and we're going to overlap that by about probably, well, in this instance, sort of 6 inches or so, but you could do slightly less. But this just makes it really easy. So you can probably see those lines that they're next to each other, and I've got the tag end of the beige at this end, and I've got the tag of the white at that end, all right? So then we're just gonna create an overhand loop like that, and all we're gonna do is rotate this piece, the bottom piece, with the tag end through 3 times, and that's a 3-turn water knot. Really, really simple. This little piece to go through is quite easy. This longer bit needs a little bit of threading, but generally I put my finger in, grab these two, pull them through both at once, and then pull it all the way through. Again, do it twice, pull it all the way, that one through, and then that one through, thread it through, and then 3 times. I'll do that again. So we've gone through 3 times. You can probably see the stripy nature of them overlapped there, just onto that loop. And as we pull it down, we want to pull it down this way because this tag end here is going to be what we're going to tie the hook onto. All right, so just to give yourself a little bit of extra room, start tightening it down, but pull the knot down towards where the weight would be. And there you go. You end up with, in this instance, because they've been wrapped around each other, I hope you can see that, a sort of stripy knot. That's what it should look like. Nice and tight. And then obviously, if you want to, you can cut that bottom tag off just like that. And then you're left with your line coming down, your tag coming off roughly at about 90 odd degrees. And then this piece that obviously goes down to where your weight's gonna be. Now, few people have asked me as well, what's the optimal length that I can tie this tag on, or how long should it be before I get to my bait? For me, 1 to 2 inches is absolutely perfect. The longer it gets, the more you have to be able to move your rod, and it's not going to impart any action. You're trying to, because it's cold water technique, you are trying to slow the bait down. You don't want, so if the bait would normally be where this knot is tied directly on there, so it would kind of be represented, I suppose, like that. If that's where your sort of hook and your bait would be, it's where the knot is. It's very direct. Every inch that you lift the rod, it's going to lift the knot an inch, or the bait an inch as well. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give a little bit of slack so that in tricky weather conditions, if it's very, very windy, you're trying to move the rod, but you don't want all of the movement to go into the bait. You're trying to dull it slightly to keep it nice and slow, nice and finesse, and not loads and loads of vibrations or movement coming off, all right? Because they're really lethargic. So if it's too long, you won't get any movement in the bait by moving the rod loads. If it's right up tight, you're going to get loads and loads of movement every time you move the rod, but just 1 to 2 inches is going to be perfect. So I've got Shad T Slim here in, I might as well show you the new color as well. That's in Gold Rush, absolutely amazing, lovely orange belly. I'd say this is more like one of our kind of classics, which is the Official Roach, which has kind of got solid golden sides to it and a bit of an orange belly. And this is like kind of the new 2021 version of that. Really, really beautiful. Shines in the light as well. So can't wait to get out there and try that. So all I'm going to do is just thread that through. And I would tie this on with, again, with just like a 5, 6, 7 turn water knot. But make sure, it's probably a bit tricky with the string. I'll just do 2 or 3. The thing you've got to make sure is not to make it too long, all right? Just 1 to 2 inches. So I'll pull that down. There we go. So there we go, just 1 to 2 inches. I'll tag that off and that'll be absolutely, so twitch, 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 and it'll just start moving. But the main reason that you want to do this is because of the extra degrees of freedom, all right? So it just allows, so a perch can approach from any angle and that bait is just going to be kind of suspended there. And if he sucks his mouth open, even if your line is super tight here, there's always going to be a little bit of slack that can make it go into the mouth to get a really good hook hold. Also, when he comes along, when that perch comes along, it can get it all the way into the mouth, and then this bit of slack here allows it to go deeper into the mouth to get a really good hook hold when those bites are going to be tiny. What I've often found with a regular drop shot in those cold water conditions is the fact that if the bait is all the way on directly on the line like that, yeah, you're always going to have this bit of line above and this bit of line below impeded by his lips physically touching the line. All right, means it can't go in as deep as you want it to do. So just an extra inch or 2 really, really helps. But there you go, guys. Tried to keep it nice and simple in an oversized version, but that's how to tie a paternoster drop shot. If you've got any comments or questions, drop them below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Really, really helps the channel if you like my content. And until the next one, I'll see you then.